heart, kids. I am so happy to be able to bring you another book for story time. And today we're going to read Arlo and the Great Big Cover-Up. And this book is by Betsy Childs Howard. It happened during quiet rest time. Arlo noticed a scratch on the wall just over his head. The scratch looked like a mouth. Arlo was not allowed to get off his bed during quiet rest time, but if he kept one foot on his bed and stretched his other leg out, he could reach the markers on his desk. Then Arlo did a very naughty thing. He took the cap off the blue marker. He drew a nose and two eyes on the wall. Arlo felt funny. He was not allowed to draw on the walls, not with a pencil, not with a crayon, and above all, not with a marker. Arlo sat on the bed and he thought. He took the cap off the brown marker and he drew a frame around the face. He thought the frame might make the face look like it belonged on the wall. But Arlo's square was not quite square, and he knew his mom would not be fooled. Arlo thought some more. He grabbed some tissues from the bedside table and started scrubbing. But it was no use. The marker did not come off the wall, but it did smear together. Arlo had made a big blue and brown mess. Arlo felt afraid. His mom was not going to be happy with him. He must find a way to cover up the mess on the wall before the end of quiet rest time. He got off the bed. This time, he didn't even bother to keep one foot on. He dumped out his toy box, picked it up, and put it on the bed. It was no good. He could still see the mess on the wall. He piled up games on top of the box. The eyes on the wall kept looking at him. His heart was beating fast. He grabbed books and toys and piled them higher. Arlo had done it. The drawing could not be seen behind the towering pile of toys. Just then, he heard his mom coming up the stairs. He scrambled under the bed. "Arlo," his mom said, "where are you?" Arlo kept quiet. His mom sat down on the bed, and all at once the tower came tumbling down. "Arlo," she said, "come out here." Arlo crawled out from under the bed, but he covered his eyes. His mom picked him up and put him in her lap. "Arlo," she said, "did you color on the wall with marker?" Arlo kept his hands over his eyes and shook his head. His mom pulled his hands away and looked him in the eyes. "Arlo," she said again, "did you color on the wall with a marker?" He looked back at her, and this time he told the truth. "Yes," he said, in a voice that could barely be heard. "Did you cover it up?" Arlo took a deep breath. "Yes," he said, a little louder this time. "Arlo," she said, "you disobeyed when you colored on the wall. You also disobeyed when you got off your bed to get your toys." Arlo threw his arms around his mother. I'm sorry I disobeyed." Arlo's mother gave him a tight squeeze. "I forgive you, Arlo." "Am I going to get a punishment?" he asked without letting go. "Yes, you have lost your screen time for today and tomorrow." Arlo felt a little sad. He liked to watch a video while he ate his afternoon snack, but he couldn't feel too sad while his mom was hugging him. Then Arlo had a thought. He sat up and with a worried voice asked, "Will I always have this mess over my bed?" Arlo's mom smiled. "I thought I would get my super sponge out from under the sink and clean it off. Would you like that?" "Oh, yes," Arlo said. As they walked downstairs to get the sponge, Arlo's mom said, "You know, sometimes when I do something wrong, I want to hide." Surprised, Arlo asked, "You do? Who do you hide from?" "When I sin, I want to hide it from God. I don't want him to know about it, and I don't want to talk to him because he might find out." "Well, that's silly," Arlo said. "God knows everything already." "I know," said his mom, We can't hide our sin from God, and when we try, it only makes us unhappy. Arlo thought for a moment. I was unhappy when I was hiding from you under the bed. I know, said his mom, and I knew that you would never be able to get the mess off the wall without my help. I'm glad you came out and told the truth. When we tell God the truth about our sin, He is ready and waiting to help us. That's why He sent His son Jesus. Arlo looked at the clean wall, and he threw his arms around his mom again. Thank you for washing off my mess, he said. Cleaned up is much, much better than covered up. The end. Did you like that story? I love that story because I feel like we can all understand how Arlo felt in the story. You know, sometimes when we make mistakes and we want to hide from our parents, but we really need our parents to help us with those mistakes, to help fix them. Hiding is never good. We always need to make sure we tell the truth, and there's always forgiveness. And with God, it's the same way. When we have sins or things in our life like lying, which is a sin, and we try to cover it up and we try to hide it from God, it just stays with us. The mess is still there, and we need God's help to clean it up. So it's always best to just recognize when we've made a mistake, recognize when there's sin in our life, and ask God for help to clean it up. Ask for His forgiveness. He is always there ready with His super sponge, ready to clean our sins out of our heart and wrap His arms around us with His love.